Here we are, live from Mugello for the first race of the Global Series. Starting on pole position is AndrewZh. Alongside him on the front row, the Suzuki of Christian MM17. And keep your eye on the Belgian rookie Wimp on the Red Bull KTM Tech Trois.
Leading out the second row, the two-time world champion Trastevere leads from the runner-up from last year, Ellie Ghost. And Adrian DP fills out that row as well.
Third row of the grid, and we're still talking only 0.6 of a second further back. It is that competitive this year. Juan H will front row number 3 on the Red Bull KTM factory racing machine. Then we get the Aprilia of Rllorca, and finishing row number 3 is the Indonesian Moe.
Well, we know Jack Miller's supporting the Pramac Ducati of Mereja, and then it's got Mr. TFTW on the Reale Avintia, and Bomber bringing up the rear in 12th place. Well, there's only one thing left to do, Jack. Let's go racing.
Let's do it. Let's kick off the 2019 MotoGP eSport Championship. All eyes on the lights, so they're going to pop up very shortly. And away we go for the 2019 MotoGP eSport Global Series. A great start from pole position for the Ducati of AndrewZh. But just look at the reigning world champion Trastevere around the outside. Surely he's going to have the inside line into turn number 1. No, the whole shot will go the way of the Ducati of AndrewZh. Christian MM17 just hanging on around the outside. A great start from the two guys on the front row of the grid.
Oh, he's going out the inside. He touches it. We've already got a fall, and that's Wimp. Oh, he's wimped out of it. He's down in the gravel. Trastevere maintaining third, though. Jack, they're weaving all over the place. Like about a 3-race down the start and finish straight.
Contact to the front as well as Christian MM17 tries to dive up the inside and takes the lead, but he goes wide on the flick back, and AndrewZh retakes it. It's all action on the opening lap.
I'm keeping an eye on that Repsol Honda of Ellie Ghost just behind him, but Trastevere is ever present. Hey, watch those track limits, boys. It's also a bit slippery on the outside of the turns there, getting a bit squirrely as Christian MM17 at that point.
Certainly is worthwhile keeping an eye on track limits. They've got 3 warnings. As soon as they make an offence for a 4th occasion, a ½ second penalty will be slapped on them, so they need to remain in track limits as often as they possibly can. Otherwise, we'll see them drop backwards, and you can see down the left-hand side of your screen at the moment just how much impact ½ second will make.
Yeah, and you can see also Wimp has actually remounted. Of course he has, but he's back down the order, 12th place, but 1.9 seconds to drift. Didn't sound like that much, but the times have been super tight, and especially in qualifying. Doesn't look like he's going to be really in this one, but this is only the first race of 6 in this Global Series. Looking back then from AndrewZh to Christian MM17, we're coming to the final corner for the first time, and then it's all about the slipstream as we get on the run along that monstrous straight here at Mugello.
AndrewZh, unsurprisingly then, leading from pole position throughout free practice. He has been the pace setter here at Mugello, but he's been chased down hard by Christian MM17 aboard the Suzuki. Ellie Ghost has now got himself in front of the reigning world champion Trastevere for 3rd place. A good start from the Pramac Racing of Mereja to get inside the top 5. Bit of action for 3rd place there as Ellie Ghost runs wide. Trastevere can't take full advantage of it, but there's still a long way to go in this one. 10 laps for opening glory in the Global Series.
Oh, it's just so much the real thing. Everyone loves the Repsol Honda versus Monster Yamaha battle, but this is not a battle we're keeping an eye on at the moment. He's up the inside. Oh, he chops his nose off a little bit there. Oh, and again, is he going to get him on the inside? He shoves him out wide. That is a world-class move from the world champion, but Ellie Ghost did look up the inside again.
The dangerous thing for these two, though, is AndrewZh and Christian MM17 have been given an opportunity to break clear at the front of the race. Meanwhile, a corner cut has gone the way of Ellie Ghost 555 and Trastevere, I believe, as well.
Look in the background, though, Jack. To Juan H on that KTM is making moves as well. He's on the inside of Mereja, the Pramac Ducati there.
Interestingly enough, Juan H, the only man in the field to be using an Xbox controller tonight. All 11 other men are on the PS4 controller, but he's certainly putting it to good use at the moment to get inside the top 5. He's got pressure, though, coming from Mereja and Adrian DP 26. Do you know what? I'm really surprised at the pace that he's showing. As Amy said at the start of the show, he's been quickest in 5 of the 6 online challenges. He was probably, you could put an argument together, one of the favourites coming to this one, but it's a disastrous start for him, down in 6th place.
I'll tell you what, looking down the order, Jack, I'm really impressed by Bomber 45 coming through from the back of the grid. He's up to 8th place at the moment, far from out of contention of some solid points here, but look at the lead, the battle for the lead here. AndrewZh versus Christian's MM17. Well, last time out in Silverstone, it was, of course, Marquez versus a Suzuki. Will it be Ducati versus Suzuki here in Mugello? We're looking at both these riders, ultimate concentration on both their faces at the moment. Although we can see AndrewZh definitely adopts the more static approach, whereas Christian MM17 likes to flow along with the racing as well.
I think that is the classic approach, isn't it? Anybody anybody that doesn't perform on MotoGP and sway to the left or sway to the right isn't doing it properly.
I think I got more than 64 degrees lean angle sometimes when I did it. Fell off the chair a few times having a go at this sort of thing. But look at this. He's not letting him get too close away. I'm not getting caught out by that camera angle this year. Last year my heart was in my mouth when we moved from one bike to the other. But these are just some of the awesome camera angles you can get in esports racing.
Another corner cut going the way of Bomber 45 on this occasion. He's down in 7th at the moment. A good start, as you rightly said, Matt. From the back of the grid, he's slowly making progress on that Petronas Yamaha. Further down the field, it looks like Eligos has just settled into 4th for the moment, with the world champion starting to hunt down our leading 2. That gap 1.4 seconds with 3 laps completed. Can the factory Yamaha man start to close in? The Ducati of AndrewZh and the factory Suzuki of Christian MM17.
I'll tell you what, you can tell Ellie Ghost likes his graphics. That is an awesome number 91 that he's got there, and it's now becoming an all too familiar sort of skull ghostly face on top of that helmet as well. It seems as though he's coming very, very quickly towards these guys, but it's still just these two with a bit of a gap. Oh, Christian MM17 very wide around the final corner there. Could be a bit dusty, lacking a bit of grip there perhaps, but now is he too far away from that slipstream? Do not forget though, the horsepower of that Ducati.
One of the big changes for this year, Matt, is the fact that all of the riders do have tyre wear on. Now, the guy at the front of the race, AndrewZh, is running a medium front and a hard rear. Everybody in the field is running a hard rear, but there are some changes on the front tyre. Interestingly enough, Trastevere is running the hard front tyre, which means that you could possibly put an argument together that he's going to come into his own as we start to get into the latter stages of the race.
Well, he's certainly coming into his own on that last lap. He's just set the fastest lap of the race as the world champion, holding firm in 3rd place, 1 second off the man in front of him, Christian MM17. And the graphics are all messing with my eyes for a little bit then, but Mereja just on the chase of Bomber 45, who is really the man on the move. We're just looking at him now. I'll tell you what, last time I saw a 67 on Ducati, that was shaky burn. We're looking at Moe now on the LCR Honda in the chase of Mereja there. Number 27 on LCR Honda brings back some big memories, that one as well, Jack.
He certainly does, and Moe will be hoping to put a big performance together. He's travelled 35 hours from Indonesia to get here in Misano tonight. So he's hoping to at least go home with a few points in his back pocket. Meanwhile, at the front, it's over half a second the lead now for AndrewZh. You see a big black line coming off the rear tyre of Christian MM17 as he uses the back brake on the way through the final sector. Meanwhile, we're now on board with Trastevere, the world champion. 1.3 seconds is the advantage. He may well have made just a slight mistake somewhere out on track, because it was within a second at one point, having set the fastest lap of the race last time around. Let's keep our eye on the Yamaha man, because he's definitely starting to make progress as our race leader, AndrewZh, comes across the line. And we've got a fall at Ellie Goes 555 on the Repsol Honda, who is in a comfortable 4th place, but now right at the back of the field. That is not how you want the opening race of the Global Series to go.
No, especially not for last year's runner-up. He would have been hoping for big things this year, although, as we mentioned, Global Series, 6 races is just like a championship. It's not all a one-out final. These guys don't get eliminated in this round or anything like that. But looking at this, Christian MM17 on the chase still, but that gap to the front, is it eking out a little bit? No, it is coming down again, but these guys, they're making big stretches away from Trastevere there. 1.5 seconds the gap now.
Yeah, if anything, they are moving away. That hard front tyre isn't working for him. Race direction just pointing a finger at 1NH in 5th at the moment for a bit of reckless riding, so we'll have to be careful with that one.
He was the one who wiped out Eligos then, if that's what it was. We'll hopefully get a replay of that later on, but Mike has spoken, and heed to the warning, Juan, on that KTM. Ride within your limits, and other people's, I suppose, as well.
Don't want to get on the wrong side of Mike. He rules with an iron fist, and he's put the letter of the law down straight away in this Global Series. Christian MM17 still half a second adrift there in 2nd place. But as you mentioned, Matt, this new format is going to suit him far, far better than it did last year. He was one of the front runners in 2018, but in the grand final of Valencia, he crashed out on the opening lap at the opening corner. With the guys at the front showing the consistency to just chip away. There was no opportunity for him to get back in the hunt to try and win the 2018 championship. This time, as Trastevere said, consistency will be the key if you want to come out on top at the end in Valencia and to crown the 2019 champion.
We're over half race distance as we come across the line on board with AndrewZh now on that Ducati. Last time around in that final sector, looking closely at the back tyre. The back line's being laid off of Christian's MM17 Suzuki. Do you wonder, is he getting a little bit more tyre wear than usual? Well, we'll have to see, won't we? But the man making big moves there is Moe, although Mereja just absolutely beautifully defends his line into turn one there. There was no way through by Moe there, but has he cut himself short into the chicane? No, he hasn't. Not left the door open whatsoever, as these guys are fighting for 7th place at the moment.
These all could be vital points by the time we get to Valencia. Moe pushing hard at the moment, applying the pressure on Mereja aboard that Pramac Ducati. Just slightly wide there before he flicks right. But he's able to possibly eke out 2 or 3 bike lengths there. It's a crash for Mr. TFTW.
Oh, well, we talk about people who've travelled pretty far to get here. He's come all the way from Brisbane as the Australian, and not even only that, lacking in experience compared to some of his competitors as well. Only bought the game 3 months ago. How about that for rapid rate of progression? Got our own Fabio Quartararo here, who's on an Avintia Ducati. Don't say that too loudly.
He's making the most of this opportunity. He's the Australian. Unbelievable. Bought the game 3 months ago, and here he is in Misano, racing for the championship.
Way wide here, aren't we? On board with Wim. Sorry about that, Jack, the Belgian. They're losing big time out to Rllorca ahead of him there for 9th place. Well, that's really opened up a gap there. What's happening at the front? AndrewZh then. That gap is still not getting any bigger. Not getting any smaller, though, crucially. Does beg the question, is Christian MM17, is he riding on the limit? Is he going over it? Has he got anything left in the tank? We're about to finish this 6th lap. Then it's only 3 or so laps left to go.
Does look comfortable at the moment, does AndrewZh. We saw in free practice, he was able to put in lap after lap after lap, quicker than anybody else, and he's doing that at the moment as well. Christian MM17 just isn't able to get onto the rear wheel, and it's another fastest lap of the race coming courtesy of the Ducati man as he tries to eke his way towards a debut win in this 2019 MotoGP eSport Championship.
He did look very, very good on the brakes there, and that gap does look like it's coming down just a little bit. Christian MM17, a little bit wide, but he did have a crash out, remind you, in 2018, out of the final, of course, but he was your 2017 runner-up. If there's one guy who has all the experience he needs to put up with the pressure to close down AndrewZh, it is this guy right here, the Spaniard, number 25. Well, can he do it? About 6 minutes to find out whether he can or not.
Running out of time at the moment. AndrewZh imperious at the moment. Nobody's been able to get close to him. He took the whole shot from pole position. He's been in supreme form there on in. But Christian MM17 has applied the pressure throughout all 7 of the laps we've seen so far.
On there, but he's a bit wide, is he? Yes, he is. I thought, oh, blimey, he's closed up well on him there. But look at that. Fast lap from AndrewZh from that last time around. A 1:42.829 from him. Very impressive indeed. But look at the dark lines coming off the back rear of that rear wheel of that Ducati here. So this final sector going to be so key. Can you get a good run through this final chicane? The Suzuki should be a bit better there, but can he close it down enough to make a move into the final corner? And crucially, not mess up his line coming out onto the straight.
Meanwhile, we certainly cannot discount the 2-time champion Trastevere in 3rd at the moment. If these two close up and start to take lumps out of each other, it's going to fall right into the hands of the number 73 behind. He's waiting, ready to pounce if anything happens at the lead at the race.
But remember what he said in his interview with Amy, Jack, that guy's looking for consistency. Okay, he wants to win. They all want to win, but if they can walk away with a couple of podiums here tonight, put themselves in prime places in the Global Series overall, then that is a job well done here in San Marino. But look at that again, AndrewZh, another fast lap. I think that means he was quickest last time around, which is not good news for Christian MM17. We're on lap 8 of 10, so this is, well, including this one, 3 more laps to go. Time really is running out now.
That gap now 0.299 of a second. That is the lowest it's been for quite some time. 2.5 laps remaining for Christian MM17 to pounce. Can he do it?
You really see the difference between the Ducati and the Suzuki, even on the game here, in those fast and flowing chicanes there. The Ducati, though, just managed to fire it out of those corners so you can stand up on the fat part of the tyre. Full gas up there, but look at this, Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2, over the hill then. That gap, it's just looking ever so close. I hope it's not the camera angle, because this could be set up to be a corker. He's right on, and there is Christian's MM17. Can he close him up there? Just loses out on the exit of the corner there. Just so characteristic of it.
He is. He's so hot into that first part before he then flick left. He loses a bit of time, but again he tries to close in. He's going to go down to the wire this one. We're into the final sector now. Next time they come across the line, there'll be just 2 laps remaining here in Mugello to take first blood in the Global Series.
Look at the gap, Jack. Look at the gap. It's 0.166 seconds. That's the closest it's been pretty much all race now. And Trastevere, 1.4 seconds adrift. He looks well and truly out out of it, just ready to pick up any pieces. Was that a twitch there from Christian MM17? How much will he lose across the finish line here on the straight to that Ducati?
Well, we're certainly into the part of the race now, Matt, where tyre life is going to be a crucial factor. For the first time in MotoGP eSport, these guys are having to contend with conserving those tyres for as long as they possibly can, and it's possibly the Suzuki that's doing the better job of it because he is right on the rear wheel of AndrewZh now with Christian MM17.
We have another race direction message, this time from Mereja, the number 67, reckless riding, watch yourself there. I don't know what's been happening there in that battle for 8th place, but Wimp's on the move, he's already back up to 8th after he crashed out at the beginning of the race. Bomber 45's had a great race. Oh, Wimp, I've just given him commentator's curse. He's gone down again as the number 97. But let's keep our focus on this battle at the front. AndrewZh has responded. The gap is back up to 0.233. But I think at this stage in the game, like the proverbial greyhound to the rabbit, Christian MM17 is not letting go of this one.
How can AndrewZh handle the pressure? It's been piled on him since lap number 1, and so far he's stood firm. We're into the tasty bit of the race now. 1.5 laps remaining. This is where the points are going to be earned. What can AndrewZh do?
Well, Wimp has also been given a message of reckless riding as well, so what on earth has been going on in that backfield? I hope we get some good highlights out of this one to see what's happened there. Dart lines being laid off that Ducati. It's in the run to the final sector now on the penultimate lap of this race. Trastevere looks well and truly out of contention with this one, but that is a very, very safe 3rd place for him. A great start from the double world champion. AndrewZh though, imperious as we come into the final corner, but he's wide, he's very wide, although will that help him on the run out? Will that even come under the jurisdiction of track limits? I'm not sure. Mike will have to be the judge of that one. How much of a drive can we get down this straight? How good will Christian MM17 be on the run down to turn 1 on this final lap?
Here we go, 1 lap to go, 5.2 kilometres of the Mugello circuit to determine who's going to take the first victory in the Global Series. A mistake from AndrewZh at the final corner, possibly proving that that front tyre is at the end of its limit now. Can Christian MM17 pounce?
Yes, well, he looked a little bit wide into turn 1 there, so he's given a bit of ground there. It's up to 0.4 of a second. He's run a bit wide there, got to be careful of track limits, but I don't think that'll come under any penalty from Mike there. He's looking very nice and smooth through this long chicane section, and now we head down there. Oh, he's been accused of a corner cut there. Well, he's trying very, very hard indeed. Too hard, in fact. Can he catch up with him? He's starting to panic now, I think, Jack.
We're in towards Arrabbiata, just half a lap to go. 0.5 of a second is AndrewZh's advantage. Can he hold on? He's been superb throughout this opening race.
Well, he's feeding on the power there. The front wheel is twitching, getting a bit of sliding going on. Blimey, Trastevere looked awesome through that corner there. Great power sliding. Bit wide through here, though, as we're going on the run down to that final sector.
Here we go, into Correntino for the final time. He's way too far back. It's Christian MM17 to make a move. He's just hoping that AndrewZh makes a mistake in this final bit. But if he continues like he has done for the previous 9 3/4 laps, surely the victory is going to be his. Into the final part of the lap now as they flick right, they flick left. Hard onto the brakes for the final corner. AndrewZh on a Ducati at an Italian circuit. It's just like we saw this year in MotoGP. AndrewZh gets it onto the fat part of the tyre, uses that Ducati horsepower to get to the line, and first blood goes to the Ducati man here at Mugello.
Well, what a race that was, Jack. Blimey. And you can see the emotion from that, everything from last year with that grand final, losing that. Well, he's taken one big step forward into clinching the title this year, that's for sure.
Christian MM17, the man to his right there. I think content with 2nd place after that one. He's got another go at it in Austria in just a few moments' time. But what a way to kick off the 2019 Global Series. Amy, Gav, oh, what a way to start.
Yeah, it really was. Well, I think we're going to be getting a look at some highlights first, actually, before we throw it back down to those guys. I tell you what, I'm glad we haven't got handheld microphones because my palms are absolutely sopping. I need some sort of towel, flannel, everything to cool down after that. The best part, also the worst part for us commentators and our voices, there's another race to come yet.
No, the good thing is we're going to go to the Red Bull Ring very shortly. But before that, let's take a look at the results. Mike has had his rundown, and these are confirmed. AndrewZh taking a 25 points at Mugello. 0.4 of a second clear of Christian MM17, with a 2-time champion Trastevere completing the podium. Adrian DP on the other of the Suzuki's taking 4th place, and Juan NH comes through on the KTM to complete the top 5. Bomber from the back of the grid will take 6th place, a good ride from him. Moe 7th, Mereja 8th, Ellie goes 555, will be bitterly disappointed a crash saw him drop down to 9th. With the top 10 completed by Rllorca, a couple of crashes for Wimp sees him come home in 11th, and completing R12 is Mr. TFTW aboard the Real Avintia Ducati.